All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get started. Today's show is intended to provide you with the opportunity to take you through a path to a new start as we learn how to deal with all our challenges and celebrate our gift of life. So let's start by bringing on our show producer and the host who made this opportunity possible. I want everyone giving up for our host, Leah, Mintz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to HealthyHaven Live, the one and only live health talk show here in San Diego. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I want to start by saying thank you to our wonderful DJ, Danny Aon from Aon Events, who's been with us since day one. And he continues to bring his great sound equipment and his great energy to make this show come to life. Today he got an extra bonus. We got the fog and the smoke going in here, so he's really pumping it up for us. Thank you, Danny. And like Danny said, this is our 5th show with the theme of a new start to life. So that's why we're all here today. And I want to say that this is going to help us get rid of any negative thoughts and emotions that we may have that is causing us to be suicidal, to have anxiety, stress, depression, fear, all the above. So we're going to give you some tips and tools today to live and change. We're going to give you tips and tools to have a better mindset. Okay, that's what we want right now. Better mindset to live a happier and healthier lifestyle. So how many are here to actually want to do that? How many would like to have a happier, healthier lifestyle? Let's have some noise on that one, okay? We want to hear it. Alrighty, that's great. You're definitely all in the right place for that. So for those of you who have never been here to a live Healthy Haven show, we want to welcome you, and we also want to welcome the ones for joining us again. Thank you for coming back. But I must say, there is nothing like being at a live Healthy Haven show. The reason being, as you can see, as you walked in, you got, for the first time, we've never done this before, we're giving out inspirational rocks, so all of you should have got one of those. And they were made by a lady who hand-painted them herself wholeheartedly at her own time. Spent about a month doing it, I believe, and she put her label on the back in case you guys want to talk to her for any reason or get some more rocks. Marcia Scallon, so we want to thank her for that. So that is one thing, and the other thing is, I want to say that I want to very much give a warm thank you to Georgie and John Cross, who are always videoing our shows. And if it wasn't for them, as you can see, some people can make it and some can't, and we've had some people that are so appreciative that they can see this across the world because it's on my website. So they were kind enough to always be recording our shows for my website, naturalhealthyhaven.com. You can watch the shows there. Thank you, gentlemen, for always continuing to do that for us. We want to thank Big Frog for all our Healthy Haven shirts, Cabaret Lacoste, who provided the masks that we all have on today. Thank you for that. It's a whole new environment now, happy to wear these masks. So we appreciate that you have them on, so thank you for that. And last but not least, I want to talk about the handbooks. We have a handbook. We have 3 this time. We usually only give 1. The one handbook is got everything you need to help you stay healthy, literally from head to toe. So we gave them out at our last show. We continue to give them. So if you have them from last time, you probably don't need it again, but definitely take one. The second one is a very new and valuable one. We're going to go through that handbook. It's tips and tools, which you will receive today, with affirmations, with breathing techniques, with how to open your heart, how to forgive, how to have gratitude. All that stuff is in that book. It is priceless. If for whatever reason you think you don't want it or can't use it, please either return it or give it to someone who will value it. But I'm sure you'll love it, and you'll see why halfway through the show we'll show you how to use all that stuff. And last but not least, we have sponsors in our last handbook with sponsors and a very special gentleman who's not with us here today. His parents are, and they will be guest speaking tonight. Michael is not here with us today. He is on the back of that handbook, and we'll talk about him later, but just know he's a very special gentleman that we're honoring tonight and will be in the back of the book, so you can all take a look at that. All right. I'd like to move on by also saying thank you very much, because this show cannot be done by myself. My daughter literally is everything I can dream of in a kid to help me as she did. She put the PowerPoint presentations together, the webpage. I could go on and on and on. You could just look around and see everything that she took part in is here. You're gonna watch it. So thank you, Tanya. My husband David did a lot of the tips and tools. We can thank him for that. He added a Pono in there, which is a very, very powerful prayer that people say. So that's also in there. He worked hours on that. So thank you, David. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you to my boys and the team back there, Healthy Haven team. We really appreciate all your hard work. Okay, there is no mistake at all. There is no mistake at all that you guys are here at this event at survived. All right. Your life and every life matters, and you guys must have heard this over and over again with the George Floyd, rest in peace, every life matters. Yes, it sure does. This universe is surely in your favor tonight. I'll tell you why. This is a free event. We don't usually offer free events, I'll tell you that, okay? We usually charge for them, but this is what happened. If you saw this magazine over here, The Life Connection, this came out in May. And I spoke a huge article in here about how to boost your immune. It says that this show was supposed to be May 31st. Well, guess what? Due to COVID, it did not take place. And the place that was going to honor it was sponsoring it for nothing. So we ended up here. We want to thank this ranch for having done this, hosting us here. We're really, really lucky we got this place because most places would not let you have an event right now. So thank you to Green Oak Ranch, Chico, and Karen for that. And we're here tonight. But I want to let you know, usually there is a fee, and I thank you all for coming because this is exactly where you need to be right now. And we wanted to make it free because there's so many people right now dealing with depression and stress and fear and anxiety, and we thought, whatever it takes, just come. It doesn't cost you anything, okay? Just come, get your free gifts, have a seat, and hopefully you can appreciate that. All right, we're gathered here today, not just to help you, to help you realize that you're not alone, okay? If you are experiencing depression, anxiety, fear, stress, you are definitely, definitely not alone. And I'll tell you why. Have any of you ever had any of these negative emotions now or in the past? Fear, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, any of the above? Okay, I'm sure it's a good handful. All right, well, let me tell you why. It's because you're human. Not because you're unusual, but because you're human. And today we have, and there's plenty of reasons that is causing you to feel this way, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So how many of you actually don't know why sometimes you feel depressed, or why sometimes you go in a store and all of a sudden you have a panic attack and don't understand what just happened, or you don't even know why you should get up in the morning. You're looking around going, what do I have to do today? Like, there's no real reason why I need to be up. Anybody felt like that before? Just those doubts? Okay. Well, for whatever reason it is, you're here today, and I want to remind you that it is, again, no mistake. Not only is it not a mistake for you to be here, it's not a mistake that you were born. Okay? Even though sometimes some of you feel like, oh, I got the short end of the stick, and I can't believe, like, this life is so challenging and so hard. We have a wonderful PowerPoint presentation today, okay, that's going to help you put things into perspective. We're going to understand why we have these negative thoughts, and we're going to understand our goal here in this world. And basically, our goal is to have you leave here today with the understanding of your importance in the world, okay? You're also going to leave here with tools to help you fulfill your mission and have a wonderful life. That's what we're hoping, that's what we're doing for. Our guest speakers here are here to share their inspirational stories, and we have, I'll be honest with you, we started the show with 2 speakers, and then after we ended up with a bonus speaker tonight. They're here on the front stage. They will be talking, one of them, about a very incident that we all need to hear about. Okay, so we want to begin by showing, first of all, a music video to enlighten you. Alrighty, and this one was put together by our team. Okay, and we have 3 videos altogether. We're going to start with one, and then we're going to show you 2 more later throughout the show. And it's called A New Start. Why is it called A New Start? Because that's what we're doing in this life. It's called A New Start, and it's the first step in changing your mindset to seeing a positive outlook in life, okay? So I hope you enjoy this.
It's hard to describe this feeling inside. I just wanna run, and I just wanna hide. Can't believe they don't see my struggle so rough. With each breath I take, I wanna give up. Here alone, day after day. The pain on its own can really drive me insane. So I look up to heaven, God help me please. help me escape and shake off this misery. Now that I've decided, feeling is strong, my mission is undivided. I know I belong. I'm led to realize, I'm led to realize there's help waiting out there, hotlines to call, and my feelings I can share. It was just what I needed. Staff was so kind to me. I no longer felt that sad misery. My message was clear now. I have a purpose I see. I need to be here for the world and for me. Now that I decided, the feeling is strong, my mission is undivided. I know I belong. I'm glad I realized the light in my eyes, the love in this heart. How wonderful life is. Each day a new start.
How many of you can resonate or at least got the message of what this video was intended to do? Does anyone want to just give me an idea? Marco, do you want to speak up? Tell me what you think this video meant to you.
Well, being able to handle, dealing with stuff, because a lot of times, we're alone and we don't have a sounding board, somebody to, reach out and talk to and say, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it,
Right.
it's not happening, or, right now, don't stress yourself out, reassure that.
You felt reassurance?
Yes,
Great. Yeah.
you resonate, if somebody isn't sounding board.
Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else want to share real quick? Okay, well, basically that is the message. The message is that, yes, we want you to reach out. There's a hotline to call, and the career place that, as you noticed, you went down the career thing. So that career page is in your handbooks. Okay? We actually took that because some people in this world don't know what they want to do with themselves, and we're giving you a whole bunch of different ideas. You could even pet sit. You don't have to be a certain age to be out in the working world. Volunteer work really, really helps as well with helping you come out of your depression sometimes when you're giving back. Okay, I want to mention that, again, we will be meeting with any of the people that you saw in the video too, okay? So, Danny? I think we're ready for, let me see. We're going to bring on our next guest speaker out here tonight, and it is my pleasure to introduce Corey Johnson. And I'll tell you, he is really special. He drove all the way down from LA to be here with us tonight. And we want to bring up Corey Johnson, and we have quite a lot to, let me see here, Corey. Mr. Corey, thank you, and welcome to Healthy Haven Live. He came all the way from LA, basically, to be with us, and he's an LA actor, although he's local here right now, just doing a little work, but he's a public speaker, a co-host, an entertainer, a vocalist, choreographer, songwriter, and one of the coolest things that we wanted him here for our show is anti-bullying youth speaker. So that is also really important. It's going to be one of our PowerPoints when we talk about bullying. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All
Really
right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Why are we here today? Let's see. Before we go into and dive into our power presentation, I want to say that you're going to be receiving a lot of information here tonight. So we're talking about suicide, but there's some people in the audience that are counselors that work in mental health facilities. So you might say, oh, you know what, that applies to me. Or there might be somebody here that's feeling exactly what we're talking about, and that'll apply to them. So there's always like the click, click, fast forward button. Please do it when needed. So if it doesn't apply to you, it's okay. You'll learn something extra. But if it does, soak it in. You also should have got notepads if you would like to write notes. And let me tell you what I learned when I do workshops like this. There's many ways to soak in a lot of information. I find it writing really helps. Secondly, after you're done writing, the thing is go share it with somebody. Because when you share it, you're actually sharing the information and you're learning as you repeat what you learned, all within the hour. So we ask that you please share it with somebody if you can for your own sake to soak it in better. Okay? And just handpick whatever suits you. And we provided paper in the back, HealthyHaven notepads, you guys. So, why am I here? Why am I talking? Well, I do have a background in health, a lot of background in health. I'm a certified healthcare practitioner through Total Health Mastery. I specialize in nutrition consultation and detoxification. And my biggest and best modality is the emotion code, where I'm certified through Dr. Bradley Nelson. What does that mean? Well, we'll go through it. Before we do, though, I must tell you, when I give workshops like this, I have to, by formality, do a disclaimer. The disclaimers are in your handbook, so we're not going to go through this whole thing over here. In a nutshell, we are not doctors, we are not counseling you people, we are just trying to provide you information that we gathered, me personally, from all sorts of different sources, and are presenting it to you so that you don't have to go out there and do your homework. I did it for you and put it all in one little PowerPoint presentation. So again, if you have anything that needs to be diagnosed, please go see your healthcare practitioner or doctor, okay? So I took care of that in a nutshell. Okay, suicidal behavior. Is this one mine? Okay. I don't know who's. All right, so starting with the definition. What is suicidal behavior? It's an act focused on causing one's death voluntarily or intentionally. The overall rate of suicide has increased, can you believe this, 35% since 1999, and most victims are young adolescent teens. Go ahead and read that one.
So according to the CDC, suicide is the second leading cause of death between 10 and 24-year-olds. The strongest risk factors, for attempting suicide in youth are depression, substance abuse, family conflict, relationship issues, emotional distress, physical disabilities, and learning differences. Males are 4 times more likely to die from suicide than females. Females are more likely to attempt suicide than males. And firearms are used in over half of youth suicide. Nearly 30% are either bullied or victims of bullying.
High numbers there. Okay. Well, how can we find out what is provoking these victims? What can we do to prevent this? Because life is too precious to end it this way. Warning signs. All right. So many of the warning signs are symptoms of depression. You might feel depressed. Some things are quite obvious, okay? Sadness, hopelessness, isolation, loss of pleasure or interest in social and sports activity, sleeping too much or too little, changes in your weight or your appetite, substance abuse, undesirable life events such as death or divorce, stomach aches. How many people can't go to school all of a sudden? I got a stomach ache, and they tell their mom, and I mean, it could be a stomach ache, but there's plenty of other reasons. Loss of interest in school and schoolwork, and that they used to enjoy. Saying goodbye frequently, or straight out expressing an inability to handle things, and saying the world would be better without them, or I wouldn't be a problem much longer. Go ahead.
So the foods that trigger depression are refined sugar and artificial sugar, GMOs, gluten products, condiments, and processed oils.
And by that, I'm going to specify canola, vegetable. Those are really, really bad oils. They actually do affect your brain over time. So All right, correlation of inflammation and depression. This is what I found from all my research presenting this to you here today. Inflammation is huge, okay? Inflammation stems from the consumption of what Corey just said, sugar, yeast, toxins, pathogens, bacteria, fungus, and viruses, okay? That's how you get inflammation. So believe it or not, when you eat white flour bread, it will convert to sugar, okay? So inflammation keeps the immune system in a state of alarm and stress. Alarm and stress, what does that do? Well, it causes high cortisol levels, and that contributes to insulin resistance. Inflammation causes painful joints and makes you anxious, provoking chemicals. This leads to brain fog, anxiety, and depression. Oh, I'm sorry. Detoxifying your organs. Being that I specialize in detoxification, you guys all have a liver. You probably don't even know where it is, and some may. Okay, it's right up here, underneath your right side over here. You need to treat that as well as you treat your car, if not better, because it's on your body. So many people have a car, and they change their oil, they change the filter, but they will not clean their liver. Okay, and then they come to see me, and they're all clogged up with a bunch of inflammation, and the first thing I test is their liver. And sure enough, first they say, oh, I didn't know I had one, and second of all, they say, well, where is it, and how do I do it? So there are plenty of ways. It is important to keep the gut clean, which is your intestines, as well as other vital organs, the liver, the colon, the kidneys, so they can filter out the toxins and chemicals from the air and some foods we eat. Okay, we're not eating the greatest foods like we used to. Ways to detoxify, there's several. One of them is a colonic. That's not fun for too many people, but there are, and coffee enemas, because the coffee is not, even if you're sensitive to coffee and you're going to tell me, oh, it makes me jittery, you're not ingesting it. I hate to tell you. It's going into the liver from another direction, and the other way you could do it is with liver ND, okay? So I do sell bottles of liver ND, and infrared saunas are really great. Foot detoxing, you can get the toxins through your feet out. Digestive enzymes and probiotics, prebiotics help with digestion and prevent inflammation that cause and lead to depression. It is important to have a healthy gut and a stomach lining, especially for taking antibiotics or medications, okay? Every time you take an antibiotic, you are ripping the lining of your gut. I know that it's needed, I understand that, but do something before and after. Prepare yourself for getting into that. Okay, and many of these detoxifying products can be found on my website, naturalhealthyhaven.com, under products. If any of you, I'm going to offer you this right now, if any of you would like a free account to Premier Research Lab, I love this company because of the way they bottle everything. They're in dark bottles so the sun doesn't affect it. They come in liquid form, they come in capsules rather than tablets, very easy to absorb and digest. So if you guys want, on the sign-in sheets over there, tick off, yes, send me the links. All I'll need eventually is I'll contact you, get your address, and I will send you your free account. And you can order whatever you want. Just screen down if you want something for liver, it's there. Hormones, it's there. Hair, all kinds of products. They sell creams of every kind. Women, you'll love it, especially if you need progesterone creams. They have progesterone creams, all kinds of stuff in there. So just make sure you sign that paper, and I will make sure I take care of that for you. Okay, great. Tinnitus?
Tinnitus provokes suicide. Tinnitus is the medical term for the perception of sound in one or both ears. When no external noise is present, sounds can include whistling, buzzing, and wind tones, etc. The majority of tinnitus. The majority of tinnitus patients who committed suicide also had pre-existing psychiatric conditions like depression that amplified their tinnitus. Veterans in war may have experienced this when exposed to loud noise. Some solution: CBD products. It relaxes the nerves. Yoga, white noise equipment. It distracts the brain from ear noise. Magnesium, potassium, zinc, folate, as it may be recommended by your doctor or your health care practitioner.
Does anyone here have tinnitus? Have they experienced like a ringing ear where you could just go crazy listening to it and all you hear is like buzz, buzz, buzz and you don't know what to do with yourself? Yeah, okay. Well, I've had it and I know it can be helped. There is ways to do it, but there's a lot of people that I read literally want to be off the earth from having that because you just can't get the sound out of your head. Okay, so EMFs are big right now. Does anyone know what EMFs are? Electromagnetic fields. Okay, well, we're surrounded by it right now. Everything that is Wi-Fi, everything, if you're holding a computer or dealing with, your laptops, your phones, that is EMF. It's called electromagnetic frequencies that shoot out of there, and they are damaging. And here's the worst damage of all, the 5G. The 5G is coming out. It's the 5th generation. It's going to make everything speed up faster with technology. At the same time, it's going to kill you faster too. Okay, it is known literally as the silent killer. Okay, people that are indigo kids, and we will talk about indigo kids, are labeled ADD or ADHD. They are way more affected by EMFs. So if you happen to be that, know that it is going to affect you even more. And it's a silent because we don't know that it's slowly killing our immune. It's slowly damaging our brain. It's slowly reducing our cells to grow, or DNA damaging, okay? So oh, and by the way, in your first handbook that I gave you, remember I said from the last show we're always giving these out, there's a whole page on EMF products. In fact, we're going to look at them. I believe they're right now. There they are. Okay, you do not want to miss seeing this page. I will just go through a few of these right here. This home harmonizer right there in the left corner will literally harmonize your entire home. Okay, one commander box on the electric field of your home, on the electric box of your home, will do your whole house up to 3,000 square feet. What you do, here's the good thing. The 5G bands. There's now 5G bands. You could just wear them. They look pretty nice too. One's black. They have them for kids too. You can get a 5G band and you're set. Wherever you go, you will be protected from 5Gs. Sleep Z's, if you don't sleep very well, you can put a beanbag under your pillow. This right here, the device chip, you can just snap it onto cordless plugs. But more than anything, you want something for your phone. You want to ground your phone. And if you go to hotels or you're sleeping out of the house, you might want to get this right over here, the room harmonizer. You plug it in and it'll do your entire room wherever you're sleeping. So I take that with me every time I go to a hotel. Again, go on the website, you can see it all there. I can order them for you if you need it. All right, chemicals. Okay, great.
Yes. So, chemicals. We need to detox from chemicals and toxins like glyphosate, released in soil and found in food and water. It can be detected in urine. Triclosan. Okay.
Yeah, these are tricky.
Triclosan, an antibacterial and antifungal agent found in some toothpaste, soap, detergents, etc. This can weaken the immune system and affect your thyroid. Fluoride found in some toothpaste, mouthwash, and tap water can pose risk to the brain and the thyroid. Mercury, I just can't see it.
Yeah, the clear. Aluminum.
Mercury and aluminum found in what's this?
Amalgam tooth fillings.
Amalgam tooth fillings. Okay, amalgam tooth fillings, some vaccines, and etc. You may want to switch to white fillings and detox the body to avoid nerve degeneration and memory loss.
So the best thing to do is check your teeth. You have no idea how much bacteria is in there. And if you do have fillings, be careful because every time you swallow, you're swallowing the aluminum. So there's a lot of people that get pregnant and their kid comes out and then they believe in vaccines, so they'll go get vaccinated. And that poor kid already started with aluminum from their mother who kept swallowing because of her tooth filling. Okay? So be careful if you have it. You want to get them removed with a professional doctor who knows exactly what they're doing. Otherwise, you'll be breathing that stuff while he takes it out. And fill it with white. Okay? So white is exactly what you want in there. I wanted to add one more really important thing. You all have a tongue in your mouth? You have no idea how much bacteria that tongue accumulates. You literally need a tongue scraper after you're done brushing your teeth to scrape the fungus out. And every time you swallow, you're swallowing fungus, especially at night when you're breathing and the air is kind of congested in your room. So these are all little tips that are very, very important to think about if you want to avoid any type of toxicity in your body. All right, hormones to check for. I'm going to do this one being a woman. I seem to have all kinds of women come to see me for hormone issues. But dopamine and serotonin are neurotransmitters and chemical messengers that affect depression, digestion, and sleep. Another reason why you're asking, well, I'm depressed, don't know why. Check your hormones. Go get a good check and see what's going on. Dopamine is a hormone that brings feeling of pleasure and provides a happy boost, while serotonin is more of a stabilizer than a boost. And estrogen influences mood and depression. So women, go out there and get an estrogen check. Progesterone is huge too. Women have no idea sometimes when their progesterone level drops, and it's a natural antidepressant. It's as simple as taking a little cream, again, provided from Premier Research Lab, putting it on your 2 wrists, in your inner ankles, in your inner knees, and you're set. Okay, there's a few other places you can put it too, but it'll help, and that's just a little cream, makes all the difference. And check for infections like Lyme's, okay, as they can create chronic inflammation, and for many people can even cause depression, anxiety, and mood swings. All right, the indigo child. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do it?
Indigo children are old souls that struggle with law, authority, and school's way of teaching, whereas they do better in monastery style where things are more hands-on and not always at a desk. Many indigos have suicidal thoughts and attempt suicide mostly while they're in school. They have a tendency to be more depressed when the system takes over and controls, causing them to feel stuck or in a cage. And the solution: seek an emotion code practitioner to check for and remove preconception emotion, an emotion felt prior to birth, and work on the mindset. And also work on reversing their mindset and will to die. Indigos are very sensitive to EMFs, especially if they live near cell towers.
I've worked on a lot of indigo kids, believe it or not, and it's the new thing right now. The year 2000, they were called crystal babies. They came down in herds, okay? I know a lot about them. I've actually retrained some of the teachers in my sons and kids' school because they had no idea that they were teaching indigo children, and these indigo kids could not sit still for the life of them. They think that they're in a cage, having to be at school right at 9 o'clock, sitting at a desk where you can't move for another 3 hours, and the teacher telling them what to do and when to do it. They work best on the floor, hands-on, Montessori-style school, just like Corey said, okay? So find out if you have it. If you do, or if you don't know, bring them to me. I just need their picture, and I can just find a way energetically to let you know if you have an indigo child. And if you do, the first thing I'm going to remove is preconception emotion. It is the emotion that they were born with that clearly said, I do not want to be here in this world. When you remove that, and it's very simple to do, I just need to detect it, when you remove that, they're happier. And they're more open. Not that they love this world still, but they at least don't want to get off the world, okay? Like, leave. That's what we're trying to do here. All right, the emotion code. This is my specialty. So this is what I was telling you about. I'm certified with Dr. Bradley Nelson, my favorite man. He is the one that gave me the root of how to get to the root of anything that people have. 85% of health issues are emotionally related, and there they are right there. They're literally the emotion code. There's 60 emotions right there. You probably can't see in the sunlight, but there's 60 right there. And emotions affect physical. So if you have physical pains, like pains, allergies are emotional, believe it or not. Digestion, misalignment, mental issues. If you got Alzheimer's or ADD, emotional, depression, stress, anxiety, we all are familiar with that, and spiritual, negative energy blockages. People have no idea that sometimes the energy alone in the universe is blocking, and I can remove that for you. In your handbooks, I'm going to offer everybody here a free 15-minute either health consultation with me or an emotion code session, just to let you know what I find, what's going on. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I remove everything that's emotional, and now you have a pain in your body. You still have that pain. So now I go into the body code, and the body code is 6 imbalances. One of them is pathogens. I will test if you have virus, bacteria, mold, parasites. I'll go into the second one, which is misalignment. You might have a misalignment. I need to remove the emotion stuck in between 2 of your joints. Nutrition and lifestyle, I'll find out if you have anything going on that you're lacking a mineral, or need a mineral, or if you're affected by EMFs or toxins. Okay, so that's the remainder of the 15% will be in there. So these are some of the things we can remove with the emotion code. I will check all your chakras, your pineal gland, check for sensitivities of EMFs. A lot of you absorbed emotions from your parents, and you don't even know it, okay? And I will find that out, because I go into old inheritance. Allergies, again, I'll see if you're allergic to anything causing your whatever you came for, your whatever condition you came for. Again, you get a freebie by seeing the handbook in there. It looks like that. This is what you're going to see in your handbook, free 15 minutes. It looks like that. Just let me know. You can call me, and we'll set something up. Okay, diet, Corey?
Yes, so diet is as recommended and monitored by a doctor or a practitioner. So we have organic fish oil, DHA, we have coconut oil, we have flaxseed, magnesium, D3 and K2 combo, vitamin and mineral combo. We have leafy greens, fresh or powder, which is either spirulina, blue and or green algae, cholera, which is a boost immune and cleanse blood, and cleansing blood. B vitamins, B12,
Colostrum powder,
colostrum
capsules.
powder, or capsule if you are not.
Yeah, the Premier Research Hub looks like that. It's the dark bottle I was telling you about. So like Corey's trying to say, it's either comes in powder or capsule form. And women, you benefit greatly from progesterone. So like I was telling you, there's creams for that. Contact me basically for any of this stuff and we'll let you know. I'm not one that likes to just say, oh, you need this for that. No way. I'm going to test you. I'm going to see your subconscious that knows everything about you through the emotion code. I will ask your body what it already knows and I'll detect what you need. Okay, that's how powerful the emotion code is. So it's worth a session. Staying hydrated, huge. We believe in Palomar Mountain water. I love it. It's the 5th best water in the world, okay? And it's here locally in San Diego. So I promote that, and I have that also in your brochures that you got, the handbooks. One of them talks about Palomar Mountain water. And guess what? By you being here today, you're going to get 3 gallons because you're here today and you're going to tell them that Anna sent you and you're at the Healthy Haven show. It says exactly who to ask for when you call, and you will get 5 gallons of Palomar Mountain water. Guess for how much? $8.75. Delivered to your door, okay? So it's well worth it. And what I love about this water is it gives you the exact amount of pH that your body needs. You don't even have to guess. It's already naturally there. Not mechanically made, but naturally from our local Palomar Mountain water. Okay. And mind and body. You want to do that, Corey?
Sure. So we have mind, body, and spirit. The first one we have is meditate. Next one we have is yoga. Then it's exercise. Then it's Tai Chi. Surf.
Got it, tight. You got here yet? He's in for that. We want to look up Marco Luna for that one, okay? You know, he's in our handbooks too. Make sure you want to surf around San Diego. That's the man right there. He'll show you how to do it, okay? Surf and Tai Chi. All right, go.
And then we have daily gratitude journal. It helps you appreciate what you have. Write 5 things down in a day that you count your blessings, and then enhance endorphins, which is necessary to feel happy.
All right. Okay, good. Grounding. All right. Whoa, did I miss the grounding? How did it go so fast? Okay, grounding is really, really important, and we're so lucky we live in San Diego because we can ground just so much easier than people who don't even live near a beach or have what we have. So take advantage, okay? Walk in nature, hug a tree. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's very grounding. And see my 3rd show. The 3rd show on my website talks completely about grounding the blue mind. We had a very, very special show on blue mind where you realize the power of the water and the ocean and what it does to you. Sun gazing. There's sun gazing and there's star gazing, 2 different things. Obviously the sun is during the day, you close your eyes, do not look directly in the sun, but it's a good hormone. It's a good feel-good hormone, they call it. Stargazing, staring in the stars to alleviate stress and increase happiness. It doesn't cost you a cent. All you have to do is stick your body out the door, you see, and then you look outside and you appreciate nature and it changes your whole world around. All right. Protect your brain. Yeah.
So protect your brain. Head injuries and concussions, even mild ones that were never diagnosed, increase risk of suicide as well. The solution, make sure you wear a helmet and avoid being hit in the head with a ball.
Yeah, people don't even realize it. Sometimes they just get hit a little bit and they don't realize it. There's more damage there than they think. And it creeps up over time, so just stay safe. All right, therapy, counseling, and getting involved. Parents should get involved in what their kids, teens watch. Video games, music, social media. I know we look like a little nosy when we go in and ask what they're doing, but you can do it in a fun way too. You can go and say, oh, I'm interested in what you're playing. Can we play together? Show me how this works, you know. And then from that, you can branch out, get to know their friends, get counseling or therapy interventions if you suspect something's not right. And if you suspect, do your job to protect, and prevent. Okay, we can only do our best. It's just a start. Okay, Corey.
So be extra patient and supportive. So parents or caregivers might find this, that a depressed teen or kid is extra needy and might require extra patience, sorry, to be clear, as they may find they are not able to perform as well as mentally healthy people and may need your extra patience and understanding. So shaming, rejection, pestering them can only cause hurt and worsen their depression.
Exactly. All right, spend quality time together. The more quality time you spend with your child or your teen, the more you can get to know them. Be part of their life. Do what they're interested in. Try and take part in all that. Make yourself available when they want to share something or talk to you about it. And if you're a working parent, schedule a time that you know they can count on you. Okay, you can't be there 24/7. We get it, but just arrange like a scheduled time. Once in a while, play their video games, like I said before. Invite their friends over. Get to know their friends and parents, even though they don't think it's okay. And you know, nothing wrong with being social with your kids' parents.
So having quality time, continue we having weekly fun and activities such as board games, cards, karaoke. You like karaoke?
I love karaoke. Yeah, Queen of Karaoke on
Queen of
Cruise
karaoke.
Love it.
Putting albums together, baking, preparing a dinner, watching videos, walks or drives, plant a garden, watching funny movies. Laughter is a great immune and serotonin booster, and known to have helped heal and reverse many chronic conditions emotionally, mentally, and physically.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. Me and my daughter love watching, my daughter and I, love watching I Love Lucy at the end of the day. It's like, it's the oldest show in the book. I mean, she's like 2 generations back and we're still, I have to go to sleep watching. And she knows every episode. Really fun, but it just relaxes you. It's just another way of relaxing. Okay. And giving back. I'm going to do this one. All right, taking a day or two, or a day out of the week, or even a month to close to help with a less fortunate person or an organization is very, very beneficial. Many Indigo kids, believe it or not, as rebellious as they are sometimes, or resilient in school, one thing they will click with is homeless people. They love to help anybody in need. And it's really worth it. If you give them that opportunity, they'll feel good. And we are hardwired for face-to-face contact. That includes a lot of touch, eye contact, and smiles. Such interaction releases a hormone called oxytocin, which helps us bond and care for others, and also helps us deal with stress better too. So, if any of you want to take screenshots of any of these, by all means do so. Again, it will be on my website in about a week or two. You can get it from there too. But if you're here now and something interests you, giving back is huge. Go ahead, Corey's going to tell you about giving back.
So giving back to the universe has been found to alleviate the soul and spirit, to take your mind off your own needs and problems. It makes you more aware of your purpose and the need to be in this world. If you're a caregiver or a patient, continue to make the person you are caring for feel loved and special, no matter what age they are, verbalizing that you love them, and face-to-face by phone. Hugs are ideal as often as possible, and that special touch, one of your hands on their cheeks, as you share positive words of acknowledgments and appraisal, a touch they most moved by, and creates a beautiful bond between you both.
I really want you guys to try that. When you have someone you really care for, not just put your hand on their cheek, and it will make them melt. There's something about that hand to cheek motion there. Okay, observe your body's circadian rhythm. Do you guys even know what circadian rhythms are? Yes, no?
No.
Okay. It's a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle and repeats roughly every 24 hours. So getting quality sleep starts by observing the body's individual circadian rhythm and sleeping when your body is indicating any sign of sleeplessness. Ideally, 10 p.m., okay? I have to start practicing that, I must tell you. With this show, I am not practicing what I preach, I will admit. But I know when the show's over and I'm done planning it all, I will be sleeping at a normal hour, and I suggest you do too. Those who get quality sleep tend to allow the body to repair itself. Physical pains enhances the better brain to better prepare you for daylight hours and can help balance you so you're in a focused, happier, and more restful state of mind. So please pay attention. There's actually a clock right there. If you even want to Google circadian rhythm, it'll tell you what part of the day you're smarter, or what part of the day you're more alert for exercising, or what part of the day you're better to read a book. It literally knows, your body knows what part of the day you will perform better. Okay? And quality sleep?
Avoid eating or drinking any fluid an hour prior to bedtime, as it will cause your digestive system and bladder to be working rather than resting. Avoid any electronics, phones, computer, and even TV 1 hour prior to bed to avoid the blue light that affects the melatonin you need for quality sleep. Begin winding down an hour prior to sleep in a transition state and needs to be approached in a calm and quiet atmosphere. Calming music, dim lights, cool, comfortable room temperature, etc. Chamomile tea, melatonin, and magnesium powder can help with sleep issues. Poor quality sleep over a period of time is linked to suicidal behavior in people dealing with depression. Nightmares are more common in people with depression and who are suicidal, as the frequency of nightmares increases in people with depression. The risk of suicide also increases. PTSD and anxiety are also affected by sleep and put people at a greater risk of suicide. In people with mental health conditions, changes to sleep pattern or increased complaints about sleep must be taken seriously and addressed as part of a treatment and considered a signal of an elevated risk for suicide.
Sleep is super, super important, and quality, like Victoria was saying. Okay, some solutions to bullying. First thing, parents or professionals should encourage their teens to talk about bullying that takes place. It may be embarrassing, okay, for the victim to admit that they're victims of bullying, and most of them don't even want to admit it or get involved in it. But tell victims that it is not their fault that they're being bullied, and show them love and support. Get them professional help if this becomes serious.
It is a good idea for parents or professionals to insist on being included in their child's clients' social and networking sites so that they can see if someone posted mean messages or comments online. Text messages may be more difficult to know about, so you should try to keep open communication with them about bullying.
And last but not least, parents or professionals who see a serious bullying problem should talk to the school authorities about it, and perhaps arrange a meeting with the bully's parents. Most states right now, they're buckling down on this. They're not putting up with this. So you can even get a lawsuit going if you needed to. And if school administrations don't help, then I would definitely consider getting an attorney or contact your local police, see what they can do. Forgiving, Corey?
Yes, forgiving that. We are all blameless, and we are all humans doing the best that we can. You are not your past. You are perfect, whole, blameless, and you are loved. Forgive and set you, the prisoner, free. Forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. That's said by Nelson Mandela.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're going to show you now a video. Does anyone have any questions about any of this so far? Anything? Okay, we're going to show you a video on energy medicine. Has anyone ever heard of Donna Eden or what energy medicine is? It is a chance now for you to, this is what we're going to do. You can either take an intermission break and go take a bathroom break or whatever, but I don't totally recommend you do that if you can help it. We're going to show you a video on how you, at your own time, can release your anxiety and stress. It is called Energy Medicine from Donna Eden. It's 7 minutes long, and she's going to show you tips and tools of different parts of your body with your own two hands that you can just touch on different parts and meridians and either tap or rub or move around and shift the energy around. It is incredibly valuable. I suggest you take advantage of this opportunity and watch that. Okay, we're ready.
I actually teach a daily energy routine that takes 5 or 6 minutes to do. And it's a series of about 7 exercises that helps your body just get in sync with yourself and the energies to flow more easily, your meridians to flow, your chakras to spin and really reflect you and not be hidden from you, so that you can access your feelings easier, you can access your intelligence better, you can access a connection with somebody else better. And so all of these things are the things that are shifting all the time, but individually, you also want to be in alignment with that shift as it's going on.
Okay, if this takes 5 or 6 minutes, then I think we should do it right now, Donna.
Okay.
Right here at the beginning of our conversation.
Okay.
We can all come into rhythm together here. So take us through it in real time.
Okay, I'm going to talk you through it. Now take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder. Push your fingers into your left shoulder, drag them across your shoulder, and drag to your opposite hip. Now take your other hand, your left hand, put it in your right shoulder, drag it across. Now do that 2 or 3 times while breathing deeply. What you are doing is you're helping your energies to stay crossed over, because energy doesn't just go straight up and down. It crosses over all the time, little figure eights in every energy system. And that helps that energy to cross over. If you've got somebody who loves you, they can do it across your back, and it's great. But then we're going to come up here and tap on our cheekbones. Just tap and breathe deeply. That's the beginning of stomach meridian, and that energy goes down your body and hooks you to the ground and grounds you. Then you're going to come right here. This is a point called K27, and it's the 27th point on kidney meridian. It's right underneath your collarbone, underneath the corners there. And that's a junction point that makes sure your energies are going forward so that you're really in rhythm with yourself. Now come to your chest, the middle of your chest. There's your thymus gland. And if you tap it, you bring more exhilaration into your body. You help your immune system. And everything that stands on 2 legs and has arms thumps their thymus. You can think of the monkeys and the gorillas, or even Tarzan before he swung on a vine. And you'll see people sometimes. I do this. I'll grab my thymus when something surprises me. And these are instinctual things that we have done since the beginning of time that help our bodies not get shocked too much. Now, make a 3-finger notch and drop underneath your breasts and tap there. Those are spleen points, and spleen helps you metabolize and adapt, because that's what we're doing. We're needing to adapt to things that at one time perhaps threw us off, but we want to really be in rhythm with the shift of energies that are changing in our atmosphere. Now, you're going to, while you're sitting there, put your left hand out in front of you, take your right hand and cross it at the wrist, clasp your fingers, and come back up underneath. Now, if you can't do that, it's okay. You can just cross your hands, okay? And take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. This is the best unscrambler I know. I'm somebody who can get quite scrambled if I get stressed, and then I can't find my words. But this, I always do this before I ever teach. Now bring your hands out, put your fingers in a kind of cathedral position, and bring your thumbs to your third eye, right in between your eyebrows, and do the same breathing. Now this time, bend your fingers into your forehead, push in hard, pull across to your temples, and let them go. Now you're going to come to just straight above where you just left off and push in again and pull your fingers out to the side of your head. Now you're going to go across the top of your head. You're going to push in hard and pull out about a 1/2 inch to each side. This is the crown pull, and it makes space in your head so energy can travel, so your mind can think better, so that your mind can get clear. Now travel across the back of your head. Just go down the back side, push in and pull apart. And when you get to your neck, push in and pull to the side. Now you're crossing across meridian lines. You're crossing behind the chakra, and then hang on your shoulders. Now take a deep breath in, push in your fingers and drag across and land on your heart chakra. Now take 1 deep breath here. Now if you have an affirmation to say, put your hands down towards the bottom of your body and drag it up, and even say your affirmation as you go up to here. And when you get here, put 1 finger to your third eye and 1 to your belly button, and push in and pull both up. And what this does is amazing. It hooks up 2 meridians, central going up the front, governing going up the back. And when you hook up, you hook up at the back of your throat. And when that hooks, it's no longer just 2 meridians. It becomes a microcosmic orbit that spins both ways around your body and creates a protective field that just protects you. And the more you do those exercises, and I see that we have them also as a gift for you, so you can get them again. But the more you do them, the more your body builds habits, better energy habits, so that you are not thrown off as easily, so that you are not vulnerable to illnesses that come along, so that stress can move out of your body. And the more stresses move out of your body, the better you are, and you do not get that stress-related illness. Those are the basics.
We're going to now start the second half of the show, and I want to start by giving a warm welcome to our next guest speaker. He has been here. Actually, believe it or not, I saw him when I was on KOSI News, and I saw the topic. It was on suicide, and this gentleman is absolutely fascinating. And we're going to bring him on this morning. Well, he was on in the morning news, and we're going to bring him on this afternoon to speak about suicide epidemic. And I would like to welcome you to Steve Bouchard. Thank you, Steve, for being here. We're applause for you. He's got a fascinating story to tell. Whoa. All right. So Steve Bouchard is suicide awareness and preventive. He's going to talk to you about that. He's an advocate for suicide prevention. And there's the Coronado Bridge, and he's going to tell you where that came from. Go for it, Steve. If you'd like to sit down, you may. If you'd like to stand, go for it. I'm going to take a seat because it's such an interesting story. Would you like to sit here, Steve? Or there, wherever you want. Whatever you like. Love it. Okay, thanks for being here. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Many people ask why. And all I can tell you is that depression is, I don't even know if I need this.
It's good for the videos, yeah.
Depression is a very, very powerful thing. People ask how old I was when I did this. This is the actual article from the Union Tribune 32 years ago. I'll read it to you. Man survives 240-foot plunge from the middle of Coronado Bridge span. The 30-year-old construction worker who survived the plunge from the San Diego Coronado Bay Bridge yesterday remains alive in Mercy Hospital after being plucked from the water by a fishing boat crew that was directed to the man by the shouts of people lined up along the bridge who saw him leave. The man, Stephen Lawrence Bouchard of Paradise Hills, was in fair condition today, hospital personnel said. The San Diego Fire Department Captain Mike Reed said Bouchard's initial condition was excellent considering that he had jumped mid-span of 240 feet above the water. He is in mild status. That's excellent for someone who has jumped from the mid-span of the bridge, Reed said. Witnesses from the bridge said that they had seen the man park his brown Ford Ranger pickup northbound on the middle span of the bridge around 6:25 p.m. and run to the cement railing before jumping. I'll talk a little more about that. It takes me longer to explain how fast I did it than it actually took. Yeah. Once again, the power of tunnel vision. I cannot believe how, at the time, I was 30 years old. I just turned 63 in May. Thank you. But it's still beyond me how, at that point in time, how I could pick up my then 6-year-old son. Oh, by the way, their birthdays were yesterday. Son turned 39, daughter turned 34. 5 years apart to the date. How, and I still don't understand, how can I, at that time, reach down, pick up my then 6-year-old son, give him a big hug and a kiss and say goodbye. Then do the same thing with my 14-month-old daughter. I still can't comprehend. But that's the power of depression and tunnel vision. At that point, I jumped in my truck. I cried the whole way from Paradise Hills. Being in construction, I looked for that crown, the center, the very top of the bridge, the very peak of the bridge. Parked my truck center span, left my door open, left my wallet in the side pouch, come to find out. Ran to the edge. Even in that state of mind, I was intoxicated. By the way, that's been over 7 years. So that's why it's so hard to say that. But at that point, to even have the state of mind to, I checked to make sure there wasn't a boat. So I didn't land on somebody's boat and ruin their evening. I also didn't want to land on one of the bridge footings too. But checked, looked, and just threw my feet over that 34-inch barrier. And once my feet did not touch solid ground on the other side, I realized I'd made a mistake. By that time, at that point, I didn't know what to expect. People ask me, did your life flash before you at that time? I said, no. Being the type of person I am, how the hell am I going to fix this one? So I screamed and cried as long as I could, and the power of that wind rushing by me as I fell 103 feet per second at 70 miles an hour. Looked down at the fast approaching water, looked over at the beautiful sunset at the Hotel Del, and I'm headed feet first. Well, I know it's like hitting concrete. So what do? I flail my arms and I get in a kind of cradled, seated position. Unbeknownst to me, that's about the best way I could have hit, on my backside and my lower back. I'm not a good swimmer. I don't remember the impact. But when I popped up out of the water and saw people 240 feet up yelling at me, hang in there, buddy, it was amazing. I treaded water for I don't know how long. I'm not a good swimmer. I had a collapsed lung, 2 compression fractures, T10 and T11 in my back, bruised heart, collapsed lung, bruised kidneys, and 3 boats passed me by. All these years I thought it was 1, but 3 actually passed me by. I did not want to get involved. Well, meanwhile, these 3 guys over in this aluminum fishing boat in Gloria Bay hear all the commotion from the people screaming, and decided to head over and pulled me out. At that point, I passed out, woke up in Mercy Hospital, in the ER. Doctor looks at the nurse. I remember they cut me just below the belly button to check out for internal bleeding. The doctor tells the nurse, you better reach out to his family because I don't know if he's going to make it. And that's when I said, yeah, I'm going to make it. I walked out of the hospital 10 days later.
Oh.
At that point in time, there were only 3 other survivors, 2 quadriplegics. The third, a mother, took her then 3-year-old daughter, Bertha. Her and I do a lot of speaking together. Took her then 3-year-old daughter and jumped for a second time. Mother passed, Bertha did not, but she was busted up bad. The power of depression, anxiety, alcohol and drug abuse, it's incredible. And what I found, and I feel fortunate to be able to talk to people because I am just a carpenter by trade, superintendent. I have no college background on public speaking or anything, but I can tell you, I've been there, I know what you're going through. No doctor, no lawyer, no psychologist, unless they've done it, cannot say that. And what I found, and there's 2 stories I'd like to share. I didn't realize how impactful my story was until I was asked to share it. I would share it every once in a while, mainly as a joke, if somebody fell 2 stories on a job site. I got you on that one. And they wouldn't believe me. But I carried this in my lunchbox. This is 32 years old, and I just laminated it last year. I was on KUSI with Dan Plant, and he asked me to go out and get it. It was still folded in thirds, and I did it the next day. But if I may, if I may. I don't know if you happen to notice that on the news today, the BOUCHARD had a explosion on it. It's a ship in port. I had the opportunity, I was asked to speak in front of the whole crew of the BOUCHARD last year. And from doing so, much to my amazement, here's what happened. Steve, my name is Thomas Hajar. I am a second-class petty officer for the U.S. Navy, stationed on the USS BOUCHARD. A few weeks ago, you presented to us your experience with suicide. I want you to know that the presentation literally saved my life. I hadn't told anybody, and I wasn't planning on telling anybody, but Saturday I had attempted to kill myself, but I ran out of gas. That very next weekend, I was planning on completing the task. Your testimony, this is on a Wednesday afternoon, your testimony convinced me to finally seek help. The next day, I talked to my chief, and he got me help that I needed. I'm still struggling, but I am now in therapy, and I have the support group of people who are understanding from similar instances, and are undergoing similar rehabilitation, and I really want to live now. When you said that you were hiding all your pain from everybody, that struck such an accord with me. I can't thank you enough for helping me out. You are a lifesaver. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That alone keeps it. When I got this, I go, wow, amazing. I just found my purpose in life. There's one. Here's another one. Hi, Steve. My name is Mark Lusante. I hope you don't mind that I looked you up. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for pushing the bird spikes on the Coronado Bridge. I read the article yesterday. My brother Keith Lusante jumped from the bridge on June 28th, 2014, while I was visiting him. Obviously, I would have never imagined this happening. When we are 14 months apart, I was the older one. He was 28 and a lieutenant in the Navy. I was at the hotel when it happened. I am so grateful that you now speak for the rest of my family. I'm so thankful that you and happy that you survived and brings a smile to my face. Thank you for doing something about it and saving future lives. I always wanted to do something about it, but I didn't know. I know it's tough living in Jacksonville, Florida, and I haven't returned to San Diego since. I prefer to write you, and obviously don't have your address. Please let me know if I can help you in any way. Please, please, please keep pushing for more bridge measures to the point to where no one can jump. All I can say is when you're in that deep, dark place, reassure yourself. You are loved. You are needed. Don't make a split-second, life-ending decision. That's what I did. And I was fortunate enough to sit here in front of you and warn you about it. Please, take it to heart. Life does get better. I mean, look, I'm here in front of you, healthy, still breathing. And I just want you all to be aware that you never know what people are going through. You might have a bad day, you might jump on somebody, you might say something inappropriate, but you never know what they're going through at that time. And if you keep that in mind, it can really help others without even knowing it, just doing that. And also, if you just listen. If somebody approaches you and they want to talk about something like this, if you listen, it helps. And that's one, I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener. So it's been an interesting last 2 years. I wish I would have started doing this sooner, but I didn't realize how impactful my story was. So if everyone just be aware of others, and just be aware of all the different things that can happen. Thank you. Questions? Yes, and back?
Yes, I want to know what you did and how you were able to keep from going into that kind of depression again after the suicide attempt.
Well, I tell you what, you hit that water at 70 miles an hour on your ass, that'll pretty much stop you from doing it again. But seriously, no, that's why I tell, I don't care how bad you feel. Life gets better. Just, I mean, it's, you don't have to do it to understand. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get across is, talk to somebody, reach out to somebody, family member, friend, me, call me. I got a box of cards up there, my phone's on all the time. And after I was on that, it was San Diego People with KOSI and Dan Plant. It was a half-hour show. The next day, next morning, I was at work and I got contacted by 4 different people, 4 different methods: text, messenger, email, and phone call. Yes, sir.
Have you tried doing anything with the military? Because, you know, we have veterans. Right now we have like 22 veterans per day that commit suicide.
I'm fully aware of that. I actually had the opportunity. I was on World Suicide Awareness Day, May 10th, I think it was, of last year. Channel 8 reached out to me, wanted me to be on their morning show. So I went there, and as I went in the studio, they asked if I had enough time to go to their sister radio station, B100. So I went on that, and that's where the commanding officer of the BOUCHARD heard me, and they had just had a suicide. And he reached out to his chaplain, said, "Get a hold of this man, I want him to talk in front of our whole crew." And almost 1,000 crew members at 32nd Street in their theater there. Very humbling for me. I mean, I don't know if you've ever spoken in front of 1,000 people, but that was my first time. And it was very, I mean, I tell you what a feeling to see those kids on the edge of their seat, you know, and the questions, your biggest fear as a speaker, any questions and all you hear is crickets. Well, that's how it started. It was nothing, then all of a sudden, boom, 1 here, 1 over there, 2 up there, 2 over here. It was fantastic. And I stayed until the very end. I could have left, and I stood up in the foyer, and as the recruits were heading out, they'd shake my hand, and about 6 of them stood over to the side and shared their stories with me. And it's very rewarding. It really is. And especially when you get those texts and emails or phone calls that say, "Hey, you know what, you saved my life." I mean,
Clearly your mission. So, like I said at the start of the show, is we're all here on a mission. We don't know what it is until something like this happens, and then it becomes even more clear sometimes for people. So thank you for sticking around. Is there anybody else who has anything they want to add? Okay,
yes, sir.
Was there any prior attempts? Were there any prior attempts before this?
No. I that was the other another question was why the bridge? Well,
you know, that was one of mine.
it was. Why the bridge? And actually, it wasn't really my reason. My reason was I'm not going to make a mess, you know. But that's why I didn't want to hit one of those footings because, yeah, that's messy. But it turns out that the body of water, bridges are an attraction because the body of water, you feel you're leaving in a body of water. It's more you were born in liquid and you're leaving in liquid kind of thing. So I mean that wasn't my reason, but it was more that I figured it'd be easy, not messy, but boy, does it hurt. Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, just a minute.
Oh.
Great.
Well, I'm sure we all can agree that Steve has a really inspiring story, and we're all thankful and grateful that you're still here and you're survived and you're talking about it. And we have a special surprise later this evening, since this event was scheduled back on May 31st, which was Steve's birthday weekend. We are going to celebrate Steve's belated birthday tonight with a cake.
Woo!
And to define what a birthday is, it's the day that God decided that the world can't exist without you. And therefore you matter, and you know that now. So, and because we're so happy to have you, we wanted to give you a belated happy birthday gift. So
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. celebrating life today.
Dreamweaver, yeah!
We look forward to celebrating with you a little bit later. Thank you so much. We're really lucky that you came by today. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now we have a special second guest. She was starring in our video, as you saw, and Corey's going to talk about her as she walks up here. Come on up, Tiffany. We're welcome. We're so lucky to have you. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
I know you're one of the podium. Oh, thank you. Corey's going to speak a little bit about you. Hi.
All right, well, yes, please welcome, Tiffany Christine Smith. And apparently you have a very inspiring story to tell with some of the information we have here. Mental health advocate, actress, writer. And then I have to ask, how many siblings? It says a lot. She has to count.
We lose track as parents and siblings ourselves, I guess, right?
6.
6, okay. A basketball team, great. Well, great, yeah. Well, and so some of the questions that I had, one of them is that you had quite a childhood in and out of foster homes. And then your father willingly gave you to social services
Yes.
to protect you from neglect and from abuse from your mother, is that correct?
Yes.
So essentially, he saved you. Yeah. Now, may I ask, what age were you when you had your first meltdown, and what did you do about it?
Well, when I was younger, I had panic attacks, but my parents actually thought they were just that, meltdowns. But the first time I had a panic attack that I could reasonably realize as a panic attack was when I was 15 years old, after I hit puberty. I remember I went into the bathroom during my math class. I was a sophomore, and I was breathing heavily and hyperventilating until I fainted and I passed out on the floor. I remember waking up and they were taking me into an ambulance, and I left my school grounds and I woke up in the hospital. Yeah, I think that was my first panic attack. Yeah. Well, it's very nice to be here today, and this is the first time I've ever shared my story in front of an audience before.
My main question would be what inspired you to not give up, so I hope we cover on that too, like why it brought you to not give up on all this. Is one of the main things we want to know. If you want to
What
start with
inspired me to not give up is the fact that I'm still here, and that there has to be a reason for that. I didn't go through all that I did to give up now. I know my father wouldn't have wanted that for me. He passed away when I was 12 from a heart attack and a seizure, and I went to his funeral in 2007, and no matter how hard it is that he's gone, I know that it's not time to see him again yet. I have a full life that I need to live. He would want that for me. He didn't save me for me to return my life early.
Beautiful, thank you. Yes.
So I wrote my speech down. I like to journal, so I thought I'd share it with you. My name is Tiffany Christine Panetton, or at least it was. I was born into an unsafe home life. I was neglected, and my parents didn't know how to take care of me. One night, my mother attacked my father, and I got hurt. My father got me out of the situation, and he called CPS. I then became part of the foster system. After being rehomed several times and given back, I was finally placed in the home of the Smiths, who eventually adopted me, and I became Tiffany Christine Smith. However, my biological parents both struggled with their mental health. My social workers told my adoptive parents I was likely to have gotten something genetically passed down to me. Sure enough, by 8 years old, I was diagnosed with a manic depressive disorder, ADHD, and clinical depression. I was prescribed accordingly, and I began getting therapy, and things were okay for a while, so long as I took my medicine and I continued my therapy. But when I hit puberty at 15 years old, my medicine stopped working like it used to. I started losing interest in my school, hobbies, my grades, and crying wasn't a stranger to me. It didn't help, I was also being bullied at school. I had developed dermatillomania, and I used it as a means to self-harm. I had open wounds all over my body. I never wore shorts, and I always wore long sleeves. I got sadder and I got sadder until I realized I'd lost my tenacity for wanting to live. I made plans. I made plans in my head. I did research of all the ways that I could do it. And I was going to. But one night, something in me told me to tell my parents. I told them at dinner that I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. And I remember they said, "Stop joking around, Tiffany, and eat your dinner." We were having steak. So I picked up my steak knife and I pointed it at myself because I was scared. I dropped it as soon as they asked me to, but Dad was already calling 911. When the police came, I didn't get just one police car. I got 8. 8 police cars for one 15-year-old girl. And even though I complied on every level, I told them my plans. I gave them my sharp objects, my glass, my needles, everything I used to self-harm. I gave them the numbers of all my friends. I still got 5150'd. And that's when they make you go to a mental health facility for 72 hours, but nobody ever gets out that quickly. I was there for a couple weeks, but I didn't know that as I was being driven away from my childhood home in the back of a police car. While they're at the hospital, you are stripped of your medicines, and they try new medical regimens to see what works and what doesn't. You have to go through all the side effects. Making friends was hard because I was the only white passing girl. I'm mixed. I was the only white passing girl at the facility. They turned their backs on me and they said, "You white trash. You don't belong here." And I said, "Why not? I just want to go home. I'm just like you." But it wasn't until about the second week that I actually made friends when I stopped being the new girl and new girls came in. A lot of fights would break out amongst the girls, and when they did, I'd stay out of their way. It wasn't until week 2 that I actually had some people that I could trust when I wasn't the new girl anymore. After a couple weeks, it was my turn to go home. I was more stabilized and on new medicine, and I found coping mechanisms, and I realized my will to live. I had to finish the school year in homeschool, but I did get to go back one day to get my yearbook signed. I had 4 friends that knew what had happened to me. I'd called them the night before. But when I asked them to sign my yearbook, I'll never forget what the most popular girl of the group said. She yelled, "Go away! You don't belong here. We don't want to be your friend anymore." All that time before, they didn't know I had a manic depressive disorder, and when they found out I was suicidal, well, they didn't want to be my friend anymore. The next day, I had to start all over. The next year, for junior year, I had to find new friends. In fact, the only people that were nice to me were the people that didn't know what happened to me. And my best friend's mother didn't want me hanging out with her daughter. And more than that, she said, "My daughter doesn't need to be friends with someone like you." My parents had always told me to be careful who I told my mental health to about, and now I knew why. I knew what it was like to be stigmatized. Excuse me for 1 second. My goal is that if I can help one person with my story to know that they aren't alone, it would be enough. I hope so. Someone was that person for me once. So if I can do that, then that person might tell someone someday and feel safe enough to tell their story that they're not alone. And that person might do the same. And so the chain reaction will go on. In my darkest moments when I feel alone, there's this feeling within me, and it says that no one cares. We all have this voice inside that tries to interfere with our lives. It tells us we aren't good enough. It tries to talk us out of doing things for ourselves that would actually be amazing for our lives. But this voice inside us stops us, and it tells us that we don't deserve better. It tells us to stay stagnant, and it tells you all that bad stuff you think you see when you look in the mirror. That voice is a really good liar. Let me tell you something. So as long as you just believe what it says about you, it has power over you. But the moment you tell it to shut up and go away, you take away its power. And you do that enough times, and eventually it will not come back. That voice is insecurity. It dies when you become secure in who you really are and what you deserve out of life. My inner voice loves to tell me that no one cares about me, because it's the fastest, easiest way to convince me that if no one cares about me, no one will care if I'm gone. On good days, when I'm feeling stronger, I can fight it pretty easily. But on bad days, it's much harder. Something that works the best for me to keep going, like Anna was asking me before, is that I did not come this far to give up now, and I'm still here. And while I am, I want to be proactive with the time that I have, whatever that is. Because I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. Because there are countless stories about people that try to return their life too early. And when I hear about them, I read their stories, and they must have come to the brink of feeling that no one cared or would not miss them if they were gone. But I feel an ache inside for them. I miss the life that they could have had if they just knew that someone cared. When these stories get out, there's always this question, why, how did this happen? Enough people decide to return their life, there's got to be some commonality, connection somewhere, and I think it's this. They felt that no one cares, and I want to try something. Getting up here kind of wasn't easy for me to share my story, so if you could just trust me for 1 second, you can close your eyes if you want to, so nobody can see. Take a breath. How many of you have felt like you're alone in the world? You can raise your hand. Okay, good. And now, how many of you have felt like no one cares? Me too, for both of those questions. You can put your hands down. Thank you. I care. Mr. Steve cares. Corey cares. Anna. And look what she's done. She's put this whole thing together for us, for you to feel, to see that you're not alone, you're special, and you belong here. John cares. He's our videographer. Georgie cares. He helped put this together too. Anna's whole family cares. We are here to grow awareness on mental health and to destigmatize these issues. They are real and they happen. Gone too soon is not just a hashtag you post, but it's become that. How many more times does a family have to lose a loved one before it's clear that education and destigmatization of mental health are important? I say not one more, because we've lost too much already. People need to feel safe enough to come forward when they experience suicidal thoughts and to seek help. Only then will losing loved ones end, and these people can be set on a path to want to live again, to wake up and to be excited about life. How you can help is if someone you know tells you their story, if they're brave enough to tell you that they have depression and that they're entertaining suicidal thoughts, please don't shut them out. Don't say that you don't want to be their friend anymore. Don't shut them out. They're telling you these things because they trust you. Just listen and be there. I want to thank you all for listening and with your non-judgmental hearts and your listening ears, because I used to think that I wouldn't live to be till 21 years old. I stand here and I'm 25, and in 2 weeks I'll be 26, and I'm really happy to be here. I always wanted to have a chance to tell somebody my story. That's what kept me going. And I want to thank you for being the ones that I shared it to. So thank you very much.
Oh, wow. She deserves a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to start by saying our condolences for the loss of Mark and for you being here today to share a few words regarding what you went through with your family and your wife, Jeanette, beautiful friends of ours, and how you and your family are now coping with this and what it felt like and what it feels like to have lived with Mark and to see him gone now. So, Michael, I'm sorry, I wanted to mention your name. is Michael. He's also in the back of all your handbooks. Bless his heart, and may his soul be up in heaven. And you're going to share what you went through with us. So the stage is yours, and please.
Is this on?
Yeah, it's on. We hear you.
The last time I spoke of my son was when I buried him. Tuesday. Dad, my son inquired weakly, struggling for consciousness, as his alcoholic stupor had him emerging and falling back and forth from the deep abyss he so dearly wanted to reach. I want to sleep peacefully. Why, Dad, why? Living is too stressful. It's so nice just to sleep. Why, Dad, why couldn't you just let me sleep forever? Fighting back the tears swelling in my eyes, my heart racing, my words shaky, my body feeling like it was going to soon collapse on the floor. Son, I'll never give up. I'll never let you go. I will never stop fighting for you. Never. Trying to be forceful, but so weak I could barely stand. Son, I responded again, it would kill your mom and myself if we lose you. You are the reason for us to go on. You are my only reason to keep fighting my own devils. Dad, that's okay. We can all sleep together peacefully. It would be so nice. No more stress, just peaceful sleep. Please, Dad, please let me go. That wasn't this time. That was the fourth time. That'll be 2 years next week. That one I say. We all want our children to learn to make their own choices. Part of learning to be a responsible adult, but not the choice my son made, not Michael's choice. Never. Michael's choice. Michael's extremely private. That privacy resulted from how he felt about himself. What I am doing in his name, he would probably be very unhappy with his father, but I also believe he would forgive me if my speaking out helped save a single person. I could show you 1,000 photos of Michael, and in almost every one you'll see him smiling, enjoying every little moment of life. He really was. I knew when he wasn't, when he was faking a smile, but most of them were all real. But behind that smile, Michael was in pure agony. There are no words for those emotions. Michael, you made your choice to end your pain and in your life. You knew how much we all loved you. But all that was not enough to quell your pain. I understand, my son, why you chose that way out. Even in the act of death, you tried to spare your mother and me as much pain as you could, the loving son to the end. But Michael, yes, it was the end of your pain, but only the beginning of your mother's, your sister's, and mine. It is a hole in the heart of everyone in your short life, beautiful life, whoever's met you. You made Michael's choice, a choice I pray no other parents will ever know. Michael had several learning challenges that were not identified until he was nearly 16, ADHD and OCD. He had not exhibited direct noticeable behavior, but there were clues that we, his parents, missed, and most certainly his teachers. Many of them were described in those PowerPoints, by the way. When Michael hit puberty, all his behavior changed dramatically. Once identified, Michael had all the professional support anyone can get. You name it. We had 20 hours of therapies and medicines and every type of therapy you can think. But that was exactly the problem. First, much of Michael's insecurities were well established by then, and the cure was worse. The IEP classes, the special buses, the medicines, the therapies, all contributed to him feeling further stigmatized. You hit it, Tiffany. That's all he'd ever tell me. It is not the fault of the loving caregivers. It is the fault of our society that stigmatizes any mental illness. We do not bully or look down or speak in quiet whispers that someone has a cardiac problem or diabetes. But our society still, for the most part, treats any mental illness like scarlet A. Today, the health sciences find new discoveries every day that lead to even more discoveries, a virtual renaissance in health. Except in mental health, where it's still the dark ages. I love you, my sweet son. I will miss your beautiful smile and the joy you found from everything you did and the unending joy you gave your mother and me. You now have your wish to sleep. You made your choice. I could not save you. I only hope that I can find a way that no other child makes your choice, Michael's choice. Ironically, about an hour after I finished writing this and printing it, my wife found an essay for an English class he took just 2 months ago. He aced that course. And if you don't mind, a few more minutes. You will now see from his words. This is what he was writing for the essay. When I was growing up, I had a hard time going to school. Not because of transportation, but because I was scolded by teachers and staff all the time due to my poor grades. They would tell me that I was a straight A student trapped in bad habits. My parents took away my privileges countless times, and I would get angry sometimes. The teachers didn't understand that book smarts just weren't my cup of tea. I excelled at jumping off the top of monkey bars, leaping over picnic tables, hand railings, and gliding across the outdoor balance beam on one foot when it was slick from the rain and the morning dew. I was also very keen on laughing with my friends and building strong relationships. The activities brought me great joy and pride, until teachers would send me to the principal's office where she could call my parents and share my unacceptable behavior stories, and then make me sit in class for lunches and breaks. As I grew up, I developed a vengeance for school and learned to skateboard. I dodged responsibilities right and left and couldn't wait for the bell to ring so I could go skate. 9th grade began where I was going nowhere fast. Within 3 months, I received my first truancy note and a warning from a high school director of possible expulsion. It was then that my parents and I agreed it had gone too far and I needed help. I moved to a different high school where I was placed under an IEP, otherwise known as an IEP. Here it was difficult to make friends, as students seen me walking around portable buildings that were known as the short bus kids, an offensive term categorizing students that don't thrive on a regular classroom environment. Those classes had only 10 to 15 students at a time. I liked the calmness and lack of pressure there, but because of the harsh judgment of the smart kids, as I refer to them, I became very insecure and indulged myself in junk foods, video games for comfort. After daunting 3 years, my family moved to Southern California, where we were living in the Bay Area with all the resources, all the money up there you can think of, where I finished 12th grade with half and half education plan, meaning I had 3 IP classes and 3 regular classes. I got my diploma and enrolled in Maricosta College. I still feel inferior to others given my education and background, but I find solace in knowing I was able to persevere and survive through a rigorous chain of events. Even with all the love in the world.
All right, that is a powerful story. Again, it was not expected to have this in our show, but you could see how important it was that I included this wonderful man and wife and family to discuss what just happened. We're seeing it from a different angle now. This is when the person's gone, how the family's left behind, and how they feel. I want to thank you so much for sharing that. That was really hard for you, I know it was, and for Jeanette being out in the audience. You guys are great friends, and I thank you also that they actually helped sponsor part of the show, and now you're an advocate for all this, so bless your hearts. You clearly see what mission you're left with now to carry him along with sweet face and everything. Yes.
I call that Michael's choice.
Yes, it was a
I
beautiful
don't want anyone to make that choice.
That's a perfect title, and we will be, at the end of the show, celebrating, you said to celebrate his life, so we're going to be celebrating the birthday of Steve and Tiffany.
you just put our names together?
We're standing. I came up by accident, but it worked out fine, didn't it? Yeah. Well, we're cutting short on time. This is my way of saving time here because we're cutting it close to the end of our show. All right, yay for Anna for thinking of that one without predicting it. Okay, so we're gonna start a new start. We're gonna celebrate life. We've called our cake a new start. If that cake has not been cut yet, I'm thinking maybe we could bring it out as whole and let us see it. Has it been cut? Great. You know, I'm thinking maybe we'll keep it together to show you what it looks like as a whole. We'll take a few pictures of it for all of those that are celebrating their birthdays in life and whatever else. Come on down. Let's bring the cake here. Where can we
Got a
put it?
hand for Michael's choice in the beautiful
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, we're going to take a picture with the cake. I think what we'll do, maybe some of the gentlemen can bring a table here and put it here. We'll take pictures on this side because we still have more to do for the show. Bless your heart. Thank you for doing what you did. I want you to please look at your handbooks, the ones that say tips and tools, and I'm going to tell you what's in it, okay, so that we can prepare for what you're going to take home today and know that you have something very powerful there. We're going to start with Corey. You want to talk about commandments? No, what are your lines?
Oh, so the last thing we want is just to point out to you a list of career and volunteer jobs that you may consider as you find your purpose in life.
Right, and we're going to start by some of the commandments. So how about if we read them together? I think that would be very powerful. If you want to sit that somewhere, I need a table right here and the cake on it, okay? I'd like you all together to either read the commandments that are on here together. If you're going to read them all together, I think it's just very good to get into a good, solid mood right now to really leave this room feeling empowered, okay? So let's just go through them real quick. I will let go and let God, is number one. What I perceive, I will receive. You can read them together with me, it'd be great. They're in your book, or you can look at them up on over here. They should be the first thing in your tips and tools. Okay, and I'm going on the third right now, so please join me. We're going to read them together, and I think it'll help you feel a little more empowered before you leave. God who created me and made no mistake. I have a mission and purpose in this world. If I don't accomplish my mission in this lifetime, because it's too difficult, and I'd rather cop out, I will be sent here again to complete it in the next lifetime. Every struggle and challenge is intended to help me grow and advance closer to accomplishing my mission. God gave me all the tools and strength I need to accomplish this mission, and I will visualize it, feel it, and then put it to action. Number 8, I simply need to ask my Creator and higher source through prayer to guide me through this journey. Number 9, I trust with full faith that the Master of the Universe who created me has a wonderful and positive plan and reason for my existence. 10, the more difficult my challenge, the greater the plan. 11, God knows I can handle the challenge and I won't let him down. I chose to grow with the flow rather than just go with the flow. Life was not intended to be perfect or smooth or comfortable. I will accept and forgive those who do me wrong and realize they must be hurting themselves. I will allow myself to grow from any unpleasant experiences as they are my lessons to spiritually grow. Allowing myself to forgive does not mean accepting what was done is okay. Forgiveness frees me to live in the present and brings peace into my heart. It is not my job to change others, but to love them as they are. And last but not least, I am prepared to use the tools I learned today and realize that it was that rough start that helped me dive into a new start. And that is why we theme this show today, A New Start. I hope you understand the concept behind why we have a cake that will say celebrate a new start. Okay, that's just one part of your handbook. The next one I want to talk to you about is all these things you're about to see now are potentially life-changing to help you let go, forgive, and find your purpose in this world, as well as know that there is one God and He made you and the world, and He needs you here. Okay, Corey. So the second last thing we want to point out on the list of career. I'm going to go through these. So I'm sorry. Just let me go here 1 second. So one of the things is this exercise. I want to tell you first of all, there's a lady, wonderful world-renowned speaker named Deborah Poneman, and I'm taking a 10-week course with her right now online. She provided these exercises, and I thought they were so amazing that I wanted to insert them in the booklet for you. So I retyped everything she said, and they're there for you to help you. The first one is an exercise that is provided to guide for you to have guidance from your infinite intelligence. We all have an infinite intelligence. And it's very, very simple. You're basically going to tap into your higher self, and you're going to close your eyes, sit in a quiet place. We're not going to do this now. I just want to let you know that it exists in your booklet. And you're just going to start writing. You're going to ask the universe, the man out there, why am I here? How am I going to know what my purpose is? And many of you can find this very powerful and a way to tap in. A lot of people meditate, but I want you to just write. Read how this is done. It's a very simple thing, and it's just to allow yourself to get your answers, okay? No, you can do this anytime you want. This information is aligned with your highest truth, and trust that your small voice. You will have a small voice. Enjoy your inspired action or something you needed to know. And it's just a matter of sitting in a quiet place and writing away. Okay, so that's one of the exercises. I went through it very quickly, but you're going to have to read it on your own. The other thing I want you to do is this breathing exercises. Actually, this should have been the first one in your book. I think it is. I think if you breathe first and you calm your entire nervous system, you'll be more open to doing all the other exercises. So there's 2 exercises here to do that, calming your nervous system. This one here, read carefully. It's rotating your nostril exercises. It may look silly, but I've seen people sometimes when they know what they're doing, they're just sitting there going like this. They're not picking their nose or anything. They're just really just shifting the right brain, left brain, and they're breathing through one nostril and out the other and then blocking the other one. It's a very cool, easy thing to do, but you will feel so grounded, and I really thought that was important to include in there. Okay, the next one. Oh, this one is very difficult to do, but you deserve a medal if you can. It is a 2-day no negativity diet, and I must tell you, she recommends doing it for 7 days. I'm letting you guys off either. We're going to do it for 2 days, okay? 2 days no negativity diet, and this includes, get this, okay? So you're going to psych yourself up. You're not going to speak ill about anybody. You're not going to blame others. You're going to have no shaming others, no complaining about your circumstance, no putting yourself down by saying I'm too fat or too thin, no complaining about being in debt, no criticizing people or name-calling them, no feeling like a victim or shortchanged with what was offered to you, okay? After you're done that, you're going to say your commitment statement. I commit to giving up any negativity, which includes complaining or judging. I will reward myself on a chart every 4 consecutive hours for each time I replace a negative thought with a positive statement. If I slip, okay, or cannot flick off the negative thought or statement, I will have to replace it with a positive one. And if I didn't do that quickly enough, you're going to have to start all over the next day. Oh well, another 24 hours, you're going to have to wait and start the whole thing again. It's got to be 2 consecutive days. The instructions are in your book, so I'm not going to go through it too thoroughly, but I want you to know that this one is here. What you're going to do as soon as a negative thought comes to mind, you're going to say cancel, delete, not this one, exit, whatever statement you want to give yourself. You're going to realize, oh, I just judged that person over there. Delete. That person looks great. He actually helped me a year ago. Or that person has something to offer me one day. Like whatever it is, you're going to delete and reverse with a positive one. That's going to help your brain shift into positive thinking. And if you could do this, you're going to see a huge, huge way of looking at life that's very inspirational. And talk about inspiration. I do this every day. This is called a daily gratitude journal. My daughter colored it up for you to make it nice and bright. Because when you give gratitude, you will feel nice and bright. Because the universe works with giving. And when you give, you shall receive in more than one way. I'm only asking you to write 5 things a day. They could be as small as, thank you for this parking spot that was available when I pulled up today. Thank you for the weather being good. Thank you for that I was able to come here today in one piece and be part of this group, and I met so many new people, and I'm starting a new life. Whatever it is, 5 things. They could be the same every day if you want to be boring, or you could pump it up and really focus on something different that happened to you each day. And I can literally fill up 20 things a day, because I always start with thank you for health, abundance, whatever, anything, whatever it is that I can think of. And then whatever new thing happened that day. So please, please start doing this too. These are just 3 exercises that can make a big difference. Now, if any of you really paid attention to the first video with Star Tiffany here, this is when her sweet little finger went down, remember, and she was looking and we couldn't figure out what it was with the video. This is what it was. These are careers. Now, It's funny because when my husband put this booklet together, he goes, "These aren't real jobs." I said, "I know, they're not. They're just to trigger some ideas for you so that you could see what you're capable of doing, what you might enjoy doing." It's just giving you ideas. So for example, maybe you like being a camp counselor. I've been a camp counselor all my life. Corey, you're into camp this summer too. Like he's doing something for camp. Yeah, so there's camp. There's taking care of animals if you like pets, being a musician, singing. I had no idea that I even had a knack for doing music videos. I put 3 music videos together in 2 years. I had no idea what it took. But I just started writing a song. I wrote it on a plane while I was headed to Canada. And I remember getting off the plane and I said to the pilot, "Oh my God, I got a hit." And he goes, "A hit what?" I said, "A song." And he wanted to know all about me, where I got the song. And I actually wrote the theme song for the show. It was the HealthyHaven song. And I just changed all the words. And it's funny because the gentleman that was sleeping beside me, I just felt like waking him up going, "Oh my God, you should see all the ideas I get." They were just shooting through me, like literally above the clouds. I'm writing the song for HealthyHaven for this show. It was just the coolest thing. I had no idea I could do it. How will you know what you can do from this first exercise probably, okay? Tap into your higher self. See what you're here for. You're here for a reason or you wouldn't have been here. No mistakes. Remember, that was my first statement today. All right. And last but not least, here are your resources, okay? So if any of you need anything, I'm just going to go through them. If you want to see, first of all, there's the suicide hotline, which I hope you never have to call, okay? Let's just skip that one. I put it at the beginning if you need it, all right? But you don't. It's like if I had a medal right now, I'd give it all to you because you're all here today and you all deserve a medal because you're all ready to do a new start. You're ready to move forward. Am I right about that? Yeah. All right, cool. I'm really glad to hear that. Second, I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. I mentioned that before you gentlemen walked in. If you want to see me, you get a free 15-minute consultation just to see what's going on. These days, because of COVID, a lot of people have not literally come into my place to get a session. I could do it remotely. That's the cool thing. I do it with people in overseas, okay, because I'm on a face group with the emotion code. Call me. All I need is your picture, and my pendant will pick up your energy, and then I use me as a surrogate to remove what doesn't serve you. I will write you a report, I'll type it up, and I'll email it to you. And I say, these are all the emotions that were in your subconscious, and I remove them all right now. And you'll feel like $1 million. I've had a lot of people overseas, swollen legs, one of their dogs, this dog, because they were in confinement for so long, were biting their fur, all gone. It's all gone, so I do pets too. There's the medical center if you have Lyme's of any kind. There's EMFs if you want to get EMFs, please. If you want a link, a free account, call me for that, and a whole bunch of other ones. So please take a look at that. All the resources you need are there. Okay, we are going to watch our last music video. Are you ready for this one? So our team of dancers are going to, we put another video on. This is one that's going to pump you up. First of all, what we're going to do, we are going to have cake. And I wanted to show you the cake before. I was hoping they would cut it while we watched the video. How about this? How many people would like to take a picture around the cake first before we cut it? Then we'll watch the video and you can watch the video while we eat cake. How about that? So let's all gather around, take the plastic off the cake. Whoever is celebrating today, so we'll have Tiffany and Steve and the staff and everybody, and the rest of you can come around if you want just to at least look at it or take a picture of it. And you want to play Born to Be Alive in the meantime? And
Hola! Hola!
Ready?
The survivors. It's great to be alive, folks! Yeah! We ain't no quitters!
Yes, thank you.
Happy birthday, both of you!
Happy birthday. All right.
And many more.
And many more. Thank you so much. Okay, we are good, I think. We're going to be cutting cake and passing around. You don't want to miss this video. This is a great way to just put this whole show together. It's called Watch Out. I wrote the lyrics for it. Our dancers are part of our HealthyHaven team. They're spread out, whatever. But we were going to watch this. So do we have all your attentions? We're ready to go? All right, this is supposed to pump you up, I hope.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, I got it all figured out, I've got it all figured out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, I got it all figured out, ambition to conquer my mission, and nothing's gonna get in my way today. Nothing's gonna stand in my way, no way. No matter what happens today, I got my goals figured out and put in place, and nothing's gonna stop me today. I got a plan in motion and a path to play, and nothing's gonna stand in my way. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. If something gets in the way, it won't ruin my day. I'll just learn to follow and embrace the way. Learn to follow and embrace the way. We don't have to live in fear. We're stronger than we appear. Nothing's gonna stop us here. I got a plan in motion and a path to play, and nothing's gonna stand in my way. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. I got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. Watch out.
All right, I hope you got the inspiration that I was hoping you'd get from it. Just to let you know, the star of this video is here today. Guess who it is? John? Yes, Jonathan. Woohoo for Jonathan! There he is.
I thought he looked a little familiar.
That guy was just amazing. He's just every day he comes, he shows me this new little clip. I'm like, yeah, that's good, that's good. So anyway, this is just to show you, I had no idea I could do any of this, and I'm not a perfect singer, as you can see, but it's all in fun. Now, if you guys take a few minutes, A, to eat cake, B, to fill out your surveys, if you can. There's a raffle ticket on the end of the surveys. If you fill it out, and it's in that hat thing with the green going around, right? The person who's in charge of that is going around to fill out the surveys, where it's in the green folder with the surveys in it. If you fill it out, I will give you a raffle ticket to put in the thing. And guess what? We're going to be gifting you this. This is made by Kelly Nichols, a professional photography. And she is gifting us this. It's her sponsor to the show, Image Maker Photography. So whoever wins, and all you have to do is fill out the survey. And why? Because I like to know what you think of this show. And just for curiosity, did everybody get what they came for? At least some of you, if you raise your hand. Did you get? Oh, my dear. Oh, the mic, okay.
Great cake, thank you.
I'd like to say as a mom,
please,
mom, that this was 2 Sundays ago that my son, my God, left me at 7:30 with a beautiful smile, telling me, I love you, Mom, and I'm going to have fun with a friend. We had an amazing week. We were watching French movies, listening to music, drinking margaritas. There was no sign. So to all of you, never leave your mom with a beautiful smile and not share, and we talked about everything, and not share what you have inside.
That was beautiful. That's a great way to end it. I couldn't have done better than that. All right. Thank you so much. And blessings to both of you. Be strong. And let's learn from all these experiences, okay? So there's a reason for them being here today as well. So please fill out your surveys, and we'll pull a raffle very shortly on this beautiful painting or picture.
Well, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing today?
Great, excellent.
And what's your name?
My name is Marco Lunaman. I'm the man from the moon who lives by the sea with sand on his toes, teaching Tai Chi to military and veterans to fight and defeat PTSD.
That's amazing. That is
And now
awesome.
for everybody, because everybody's been locked down, and what we need mindfulness.
Right.
And what better than to go to the beach, take your shoes off, get yourself grounded, and we do it at sunset, basically on the full moon closest, on the Saturday closest to the full moon. I usually do it at Oceanside, and what I do is I go ahead and I do sun gazing, like Anna said. You know, right before sunset, we're sun gazing. Then we do our Tai Chi surfing there. Kaleem and his wife have been to my events, and basically it's just to get you grounded and to go from here to here at the beach. And we have so many beaches here that it makes it just really nice. So
That's amazing. And what brought you here today, specifically?
well, Anna, I'm a friend of hers, and I've done the emotional code and all that stuff, and I really believe that, you know, we need to get away from the pharmaceuticals and get back into natural holistic healing, and that's what, you know, brought me here, the curiosity. And then now with everybody being, you know, through this situation that we're going through and all this stuff, I think more than ever we need, you know, stuff like this, because, you know, we're seeing it creeping into ages younger, the depression, the suicides at a young age. You know, when you figure people have nothing to worry, they don't have to worry about the mortgage, they don't have to worry about, you know, all these other stuff, and they're just, you know, bombarded with all these negative things, and they don't have, you know, somebody that they can talk to, that they can, you know, reach out to. And one of the things that, you know, I learned is to give it away, you know, to help out. Because what happened to me is, you know, I was, you know, into real estate and, you know, building, you know, and retiring, and then I got hurt, sick, and pretty much with illnesses and stuff, I lost pretty much everything. And then, you know, when you lose everything, you feel like, you know, you're not, you know, living at your part. But then seeing soldiers who I met when I was in Oceanside that had PTSD, you know, their war injuries and all this stuff, I thought I have nothing. And so that's what started me with, you know, with the Tai Chi surfing. I couldn't walk, I had problems, and that helped me a lot. So it's like giving back, you know, helps. And what I want to do is build a Tai Chi surfing monastery where I get a couple of VA veterans to buy something and they can help other people. So it's just, you know, something that we need to work on. And so I'm looking for anybody like that has been in the same situation, so we can synergize and work together.
Yeah, it's all about community, and it's all about working together as a team. You can't do it by yourself, right?
Right. So that's basically it, you know, being with like-minded people that want to make a difference, and that's why I'm here.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for supporting Healthy Haven, and
My
it's
pleasure.
Marco, right?
Yes, the man from the moon.
we got that. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, have a great
Pleasure
day.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.